Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GTX 1066GB, as you can see here in MSI Afterburner here, and GeForce experience, what the heck. And I'm running a Ryzen 3700X with 16 gigs of RAM. Of course, you don't need the 3700X to achieve the same frame rates as we're about to see in this video. Like an i5 4690K or an i5 6600K overclocked should be able to achieve pretty much the same frame rates that we're about to see in this one. And as you can see, this is the MSI Gaming X version. Well, you can't really see that, but it's overclocked, plus 120 on the core, plus 550 on the memory. It runs at 2063 megahertz here on the core clock, as you can see, and I'm just getting killed in the background. Okay, well, that's Rust, guys. So we're here. I think that was the guy that killed me. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna be testing this one at 1080p, of course, just as I did with the 1650 Super, because both of these cards are pretty similar, in fact. So as you can see, 1920 by 1080, and I'm gonna be testing low, medium, high, and ultra settings. Of course, starting off with the lowest settings possible in the game. Everything is set to the minimum, everything is turned off over here, and everything is turned off over here, and it will stay turned off here in the experimental settings, because those are like really demanding, I would say. So I don't really like this spot that I'm at right now, because we're getting a ton of FPS and there's like no vegetation and stuff like that near us, so I'm just gonna kill myself real quick here. So let's start our counting system here with averages and 1% lows. I think this should perform pretty similarly to the GTX 1650 Super, as I told you already. Of course, the game is stuttering quite a bit and our 1% lows are affected by that. As you can see, 25 FPS, 1% low. Sometimes it goes up to or down to the 7. Yeah, the single digits, so that's pretty bad, to be honest. And yeah, just running around here, there's a few trees and stuff like that. Everything looks really bad, as you can see on these settings, so I don't recommend you to play like this. If you have a GTX 1066GB or even like a GTX 960, you should be able to get like a few more graphical quality settings up with the GTX 960 and still get above like 60 FPS on average. So yeah, I don't like these settings. Of course, I don't think anybody does like these settings. Like, everything looks like vomit, to be honest, as you can see. But you know, these settings are more towards people playing on like a GT 710 or GT 730 DDR3 versions of those cards, which are really bad, guys. And I'll probably take a look at the GT 710 later this week. That should be fun. Try to make it playable in Rust 2019, almost 2020. As you can see, by the way, our GPU usage is like around 50% usage most of the time, and yeah, that's pretty much what we saw with the GTX 1650 Super, so it's a similar experience between the two of them, you know. Okay, so that's pretty much it, I guess. I think the 6GB of VRAM in this one will probably be a little bit better compared to the 4GB of VRAM in the 1650 Super, at least in higher settings, so we might see a difference there. But yeah, on low settings, 106 FPS on average, 59 FPS, 1% lows. It's a pretty similar experience. Of course, we aren't in the same area as the 1650 Super video, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to find a more dense forest area here. Alright, you know what? Let's just do medium settings right now. I'm hearing somebody, guys. Okay, so medium settings is like everything in the middle, or sort of, you know. So yeah, I don't know what medium settings are in this game, because the game doesn't really have presets. I'm just gonna leave this one off because it says high performance impact over there. This one, yeah, let's turn that on, whatever, why not. Let's do like this, almost middle of the slider in everything. And here I'm just gonna enable sun shafts because I like that, and FXAA, and that's pretty much it for the medium settings. Okay, so it's getting dark, unfortunately, so I'm probably just gonna start getting to a more dense forest area, and then I'll see you in the daytime. Okay guys, I guess that's it. This is medium settings right now. As you can see, I didn't change anything else here. It's still the same in the middle of the sliders and stuff. Alright, so let's start counting our FPS here. And yeah, I just died in the middle of the night trying to wait for the day in a foresty area, and now I'm here again. So yeah, let's try to find a foresty area again and try to get our averages and 1% lows there. So far, actually, medium settings doesn't look bad. It does look decent, you know, the textures and stuff like that. The game looks much better. It looks like a completely different game coming from low settings or lowest settings, you know. So yeah, there's some like textures everywhere. The vegetation looks good. The rock in my hand looks good. Everything looks a little bit better, of course. There's no ambient occlusion still because we're at medium settings and I didn't really enable that setting, but if you want that, you know, just expect like a 4 FPS drop and the game will look a little bit better as well. So yeah, I would probably play like that or like this because the game doesn't look bad at all here on medium settings, and that was my recommendation as well with the 1650 Super. We were getting kind of similar FPS to this, I think, and the game is just running pretty well and it looks good, and yes, that's my recommendation. It doesn't stutter too much as well. Our VRAM usage is at 3.6 gigabytes almost, so keep that in mind. We're almost reaching the limit of the 1650 Super with these settings, but here with the 6 gigabyte version of the 1060, it's actually a little bit better, okay? So it should stutter a little bit less than the 1650 Super. Just keep in mind that it will still stutter a little bit because, well, that's just rust for you, alright? So the textures here in this log don't look too good, but here in the tree they look okay, I guess. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up some mushrooms here and eat those. Oh my gosh, our 1% lows are gonna drop so much to 0. Oh my god, okay. Alright, I'm gonna stop it right there for the medium settings. Run, yeah, runs pretty well. Stutters a little bit, of course, but that's just rust for you. The optimization in this one is really bad, and I don't like that. Let's go ahead and set it to high settings, which is like 5 over here. Oh my gosh, the game crashed. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it crash? Oh my god. Now, what the heck? Who are you? Okay then. Alright, I'm just gonna change everything to high settings. Alright, I think it's like this. High settings, graphical quality here on 5, everything else you can see that. Image effects here, yeah, I'm just gonna enable ambient occlusion here. This one, lens dirt, I don't like that. Sharpen, yeah, okay, so these are the high settings. Of course, experimental things are turned off, and let's get into a game. I don't know why this game takes so long to load as well, because the game has been out for years and it's still in this state. So the game is fun and stuff like that if you play with friends especially, but you know, 15 minutes to get into a map, it's not a good thing. Developers, please, you should fix that. Like, it should be one of the first things that you want to fix. But no, instead of that, you're just making the game more and more unplayable with every single update, unfortunately. Because, yeah, guys, the game did run much better like 1 year ago. I was running this game with a 1066 gigabyte at like 60 plus FPS, maxed out settings, and now we're on high settings and we're probably gonna get like 50. So, oh my god, is this real life? The game just loaded. Gosh, the stuttering is real. The 11.1 gigabytes of RAM, the 5.6 gigabytes of VRAM utilization, everything is so good in this game. Wow. Actually, guys, I think I forgot about something. I think it was this one. I don't know if I used SMAA on high settings. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of more FPS compared to the 1650 Super. That's mainly because this one is an overclocked model out of the box as well. And I also overclocked it even further. And right now we're not really in a very dense forest area. So yeah, we were testing the 1650 Super in a more dense dense forest area, so we're just gonna go there. So the experience here compared to the 1650 Super so far is definitely better. We're mostly above 60 FPS. I thought that one would get pretty similar FPS to the 1066 gigabyte, but you know, in most games it does. But in this one, okay, never mind, guys. We are in fact now getting sub 60 FPS in a dense forest area. So yeah, this is pretty much the same then as the 1650 Super, maybe a little bit better because of said overclock settings. Rust's mushrooms are the best mushrooms in gaming, you know. Actually no, I think Fortnite's mushrooms are better. I love those way too much compared to these. What am I talking about? Why am I talking about mushrooms in video games, guys? I should be talking about textures and stuff. So textures here on high settings look way better than medium, at least like in this log over here. But it still doesn't look too good. But these ones look, yeah, these ones look a heck of a lot better as well. So okay, I would still have no problems playing like this, you know. Rust, you don't really need 60 FPS all of the time, so a few drops into the 50s sometimes is okay in my opinion in this game. I will still play on medium for that smoothness. Of course the game won't be completely smooth because of the stuttering issues, which is a shame. Developers, please just fix your damn game. You know, it has been out for years, since like 2013, so why the heck does it run so poorly? Why the heck does it utilize 10 gigabytes plus of RAM? And I'm gonna die, guys. I'm dead. And why the heck does it utilize almost 6 gigabytes of VRAM, or probably even more? I've also seen a guy with 32 gigs of RAM playing this game and utilizing like 24 gigabytes of RAM. So yeah, if you have the RAM available to play this game, it's just gonna eat all of it almost. Okay, so alright guys, that's it for high settings, I guess. 50 something FPS inside of this area over here, and 65 FPS overall on average, 40 FPS, 1% lows because of those stuttering issues. And let's go ahead and put it on maximum settings because yes, okay, so I'm just gonna use this. I'm not gonna use these three because I don't like those, and I'm gonna still put it on SMAA because I feel like it looks okay with these settings. So everything else we're just gonna max out here. Okay, let's do this. Right, okay, max out everything. You can see our FPS dropping there. All right, image effects, yep, that's it. Okay, experimental, I said that we're not gonna use that. Everything is set to the maximum settings, and actually guys, we're seeing a substantial difference here on ultra settings compared to the 1650 Super, and that's probably because of our VRAM limitations on the 1650 Super. So yeah, as you can see, it's stuttering way less than it did on that GPU. On that GPU, I think in a dense forest area we were getting like 25 FPS, around that, you know. The average was probably like just below 30, and now we're actually averaging around 40 something FPS, so that's pretty good. That's a lot smoother than the 1650 Super, and that's all due to our VRAM limitations on that GPU. So 4 gigabytes of RAM, at least in these unoptimized titles and like really demanding titles at 1080p, is just not enough to run ultra settings on. It's still enough to run like medium or high settings in most games. I don't think, like for example PUBG also has an issue with VRAM limitations. Oh boy, there's another guy there. Uh-oh, I'm just gonna run away, buddy. I'm just gonna run away. Oh my gosh, nope, why are you doing this? I only have 4 mushrooms. Oh, there's some arrows here. I'm just gonna pick those up. Where's the guy? I have no idea where the guy is, so let's go. Alright, outside of the forest area, of course, we're seeing our FPS touching the oh my gosh, that's a big stutter. We probably ran out of VRAM right there. Alright, so guys, if you are deciding between a 1066 gigabyte and a GTX 1650 Super, I would pick up this 1066 gigabyte, not the 3 gigabyte. I will pick up the 1650 Super instead of the 3 gigabyte model, but yeah, the 1066 gigabyte just runs this game at least a little bit better, and that's to be expected because first of all, it's a little bit overclocked, as I told you a million times before. And second of all, oh my god, are you kidding me? This is unacceptable, okay? For the game that has been out for so long, how is this possible? You know, the game is enjoyable and stuff like that. It has a ton of people playing it, and I really enjoyed playing it as well with my friends back in the days, like 4 or 5 years ago. But, you know, it just doesn't run well, and I'm reviewing here performance, not the gameplay experience, of course. Well, kind of, you know. Yeah, I'm not really reviewing the game itself. I'm just reviewing the 1066GB running Rust here on ultra settings right now, and it's just, it runs really bad, you know? Look at that 1% low, it's just horrible. So yeah, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Just play on medium settings, I guess. I'm gonna die now, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I love you all. Bye bye.